money. We tell you where to put your money. And it's rare, and I hate to say this, that we bring somebody on that's smarter than JBL when we're talking about stocks. But JBL, you brought in your other friend in the world today, and we're honored to have him.
He is my only other friend in the world. As I say, coaches, my friend, coach has no friends. So that is how we start. But I am excited about this, Coach, because when you want to follow the money, you want to follow the icons of Wall Street, and this man is certainly one of those. Gary Kaltbaum, he's a host of Investor's Edge. He's an author. From what I understand, he's working on another book right now. You see him all the time on Fox News with Neil Cavuto. You see him all over Fox Business. And a little side story, when I went down to Malawi to help build a school and a sports program, one of the first people that gave me a donation was Mr. Gary Kaltbaum. He's a good dude. He's a great friend. Gary, welcome to the show.
I am honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, everybody here is excited to have you on the show, Gary. There's some crazy times going around. There's a lot of timelines that are about to happen. We have the PPP program that looks like it could end. We have the $600 a week that may go down to $200 or could disappear. But add to this all the uncertainty of the August recess. Now, Congress could come back to pass these two bills, or they could not. This adds a lot of uncertainty to the market. What happens to the economy, Gary, if we don't see the PPP extended and we don't see the $600 of unemployment insurance extended?
Well, I expect them to do it, and I think they know they have to do it because we're still in the midst of this. We're here in Florida, and the numbers have been skyrocketing. I can tell you, my little place, Lake Mary here, I counted about 25 restaurants that are shut down for good. And just last week, 3 of them, an Applebee's, a Moe's, and a family-owned Turkish restaurant shut down. That's real-world people out of jobs. And if they don't provide a bridge for that, it just only gets worse and worse for the economy. And we already know where the economy is right now. So hopefully sooner rather than later. And I do give them kudos for coming out very quickly with it. There was some glitches. Of course, there's going to be when you do it so fast. And look, I'm not a debt guy. I hate debt. But sometimes I think this is somewhat of a war. You need to add money into the system. So a necessary evil. I think we're going to see, they were talking 1.3 trillion. I expect 2-3 trillion more dollars to come out. I'm not sure about what form, but there's going to be some more big bucks.
Wow. That is it's certainly unprecedented time. They say the term unprecedented all the time. This is really unprecedented times that we're printing money like this, and maybe justifiably so. It certainly kept the economy buoyant. One thing that has stayed buoyant, not only buoyant, but at an all-time high is the stock market right now. Now, you talk about those restaurants that you know personally know that are going bankrupt. You look at just, say, the gyms in the country. There's about 38,000. There's a suggestion that as many as a third of those are going to go bankrupt. And that could be the same with small business. You know, once these PPP loans have got to run out at some point. What is keeping this market at record highs?
Well, let's look at 2 markets right now. I can tell you that airlines, cruise lines, most travel, financials, energy, they're all still in big bear markets and down near the lows. But there's a select few areas that are just 1999-ish. And I think they're going to keep going higher and maybe much, much higher. And that is software, technology, stay at home, biotech. Anybody who even says the word vaccine, the stock goes up 15%, even if they have nothing. So that's the area of the markets that's strong. That's where all the money's going. And again, typically I would tell you here, don't even look at them because they've had too big of a run. But I really think we're in an outlier event right now where most of the money's going to a few areas. You can add gold and silver to that also. And you can thank Jay Powell for this. And the dudes over in Europe, they've printed $15 trillion. That's a T, $15 trillion. And that's just going into the system. They're screwing savers, buying 0% rates, and then bubbling up asset prices for now. And again, I think we may have a few more months to go, and that's where all my money is right now. I'm in gold, and I'm in technology, and working very well.
Jay Powell, of course, being the Fed chair, and you talk about 1999, a lot of people blamed Greenspan for that bubble, keeping low interest rates so low, and you see the tech bubble come. That ended poorly. A lot of people blame the Fed for the 08-09 crisis as well. And it sounds like you're saying that by the comparison to 1999, that this could be a bubble too, which a lot of people believe. Do you believe it's in a bubble? And if you do, which sectors do you think are the ones that are going to burst?
Well, I'm 100% certain, not 99. Just like I'm 100% certain the Giants will not win 4 games this year. Look,
you got a great running back.
The problem is I'll have to ask the big guy. The problem is that you have one man here dictating policy to the whole markets. He's buying up junk bonds. And just remember, he has no money. He doesn't have a dime in his pocket. He is printing money out of thin air to bubble up asset prices, and it's just going into one area. In 2008, we had the real estate bubble where people were lining up in vacant lots in Miami to buy condos that would never get built and then selling them 4 days later with $50,000 profits. So we're seeing a little bit of that right now, but in the stock market, you're seeing it in some just very weird names that have no sales, doubling and tripling, quadrupling. You've heard about what's his face, the guy Portnoy, who says stocks never go down. I got news for them. They go down. And I've just seen this before, and I've been calling for a 99 type move for about 3 months now, and we're in the midst here, and you can see it all in the NASDAQ, while everything else is pretty much way, way down, and that's just the place to be. And that's where the bubble will burst, unfortunately, and that's where all the money will be when it bursts. And that's how, climactic bubbles end, and it's an unfortunate circumstance because most people don't get it, and they buy into it when it's the most noisy.
You mentioned tech, and I want to get to you about that, but I want to mention a stock that is classified as a tech stock, and that's Tesla. A lot of people are talking about that. Elon Musk. I mean, good Lord, America's pretty lucky to have this guy. He took us to the front of the space race, but the average investor and the prediction right now on a stock price is $882 for Tesla. It's trading at over $1,600 as we're doing this telecast right now. This $300 billion of market cap right now and very little revenue. Now, I understand that this software they may have may go into all of the cars. I understand that. It's crazy to me, this valuation. What do you think about Tesla stock here? And if you were wanting to play it on either side, would you? And if you did, which way?
Well, its valuation is more than Ford, Fiat, Chrysler, GM. I think for you name them all put together, and it has a bigger market valuation. So there will be an end game to it. I think Tesla's the Qualcomm of 1999. The stock just went absurdly straight up for weeks. And then if you charted it, the price, it was an Eiffel Tower. So I think Tesla will continue higher. I think it may go to 2,000 to 3,000 and then come all the way back down again. Sometimes there's just the mechanics of how a stock trades that makes it move. Plus, there's a big, gigantic short position right now where those short sellers are basically almost about to commit suicide because they're all broke. Again, I think it just goes higher right now. And the thing is, they are selling cars, but if they were selling steel pipes, the stock would be trading at $50 right now. It's just a glamour name that gets into the lexicon, and it's on its way. And again, I think it's higher first, and then look out. When the bubble pops, there'll be a come up, and so there'll be one of those names.
And it's a great analogy with Qualcomm, because Qualcomm had a bubble, but it was underlying, it was a good company. It's just the valuation had gotten out of hand, which does not mean it's necessarily a good company.
You know, I say all the time, when you, if I gave you $1 and you gave me $10, was that a fair trade? And that's what people are doing right now. They're paying $10 for something worth $1 and hope it's going to be worth 11. And when you get, moves like this in the market, that occurs. I've seen some biotech companies that have been public for 30 years and still do not have a sale. In other words, if they sold a glass of lemonade today, they'd have more revenues than they've had in the last 30 years. I've seen their stock go up tenfold in the last 6 months only because of this bubble and just announcing, oh, we may look at a vaccine. That is a symptom and a characteristic of these type of bubbles. But again, I think that we can go much higher first, and I'm playing it for all it's worth. That's all I own is tech. I've been trading Tesla myself and making some good money. I do think they have some good things going forward, but again, valuation is just obscene.
Gary, we got to go. I'm getting the wrap up from our producer, but I want not to put the blame on him. But Mikey M says it's time to go. And he says that, but he also told me this is great, which it is. Give me 3 names right quick, if you don't mind, of tech stocks that you like.
I can tell you I'm in Microsoft, and they're a miracle company that they were able to change themselves. And this big valuation, they're still growing at 25% at this time. I think this Zoom is here to stay. I think right now valuation's a joke, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I think the culture has now changed where so many people will not be in their offices anymore. So I think Zoom on the pullbacks, I would not buy it here. And I hate to say it, I do think Peloton is onto something unless somebody really goes after them. And that's my big worry is the competition, and the company still loses money. I would not buy it here, only on the pullbacks, but I'm a big believer in these big category killers and companies that dominate. Netflix in 2005 did 500 million in sales. They're going to do 20 billion this year, and the stock's gone from $2 to I think $500. Those are the type of things I'm always looking for, and I think those companies may have those characteristics. I babysit everything because you never know what's the next company to come in and be their competition. But right now, those are the ones definitely looking at.
Gary, I know we're way over time, but I know you're a huge sports fan. I want to ask you one thing before you go. The Mets are plus 325 to win the NL East. They're plus 900 to win the pennant, and they're plus 2,000, 20 to 1 to win the World Series. You got the best first baseman and pitcher in the game, at least probably the best pitcher. Have you got any money on your own Mets?
Yes, and here's what I like. They are great usually out of the gate, and there's only, I believe, 60-game season. If this was still 162, no thank you, because they're a fading pig like a greyhound at the track that loses their head. But I think they got a good shot here. They got a good team. They certainly got the pitching. So I'll keep my fingers crossed, and by game 31, I'll be all disappointed again.
Hey, that's what the Mets do. I had season tickets a couple years, so I feel your pain, my friend. Hey, Gary, all the hype was certainly lived up to and surpassed. You're the man. Thank you very much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
If you need me, please ask again. And I just want to say one thing, and this is all seriousness to you, John. I love what you do around the world for children. That is to be applauded, and I want to make sure you know what I think of that. So keep up that great work, and again, doing things for people you need absolutely nothing from. What a great way to live a life. So bless you, sir.
Thank you, Gary. God bless you, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.